So you're new to the Elder Scrolls Online, or perhaps you've had the game for a while and you're yet to play it. Either way, you're unsure how to start and you're unsure what everything means, and maybe even feeling overwhelmed. My name is Out of Coffee, and welcome to my channel. My love for this game is unending, and therefore I create and will be creating lots of content for it. What you're watching now is the first part of a mini-series dedicating to helping new players to ESO. Essentially, these videos will be guides, each one being on something different. This guide is all about character creation, race choice, and class choices, what it all means, and what effect it has on you, the player. Stick around to get all the info you'll need to start your adventure within the Elder Scrolls Online. The Elder Scrolls Online has a pretty good character creation menu. It isn't huge and in-depth like other RPGs out there, but it gets the job done in making your character look the way you want it to. It does take some time, however, to make sure you stand out and that you're unique. With the majority of the human races, like Nords, Bretons, Imperials and Redguards, they all have a distinctive look about them, meaning that if you don't take the time to make your character look unique, then your Breton will look like a Breton, or your Nord most certainly a Nord. However, if character creation isn't your thing, and you'd much rather just roughly create a character to get to that juicy gameplay, then that's also fine. ESO's character creation isn't mandatory. They even have a randomize button, so you don't need to do anything but press one button until you're satisfied. An important note to make is that this part of character creation has no effect on the game in any way. Making your character look the way you want it to has no bearing on the game, so let your imagination go wild. Or not. Linking the lore and current story of the Elder Scrolls Online is the Three Banners War, an ongoing war where three alliances fight for control over the Imperial province of Cyrodiil. When creating your character, you will have a choice in which alliance you will be affiliated with. However, unless you want to get involved in PvP, player versus player content, this choice doesn't have any effect on PvE gameplay, player versus environment. With previous updates, ESO has allowed players to travel wherever they wish and complete quests in any zone they desire, regardless of alliance. If you wish to roleplay or get involved with PvP, then you have three choices. The Old Merry Dominion, made up of High Elves, Wood Elves and Khajiit, hold the Somerset Isles, Elsewhere and Valenwood tight within their grasp. The Daggerfall Covenant, which includes Bretons, Redguards and Orcs, rule over High Rock, Hammerfell and Orsinium. And lastly, the Ebonheart Pact, housing the Dark Elves, the Nords and Argonians who dominate Morrowind, Skyrim and Black Marsh. If you don't own the Any Race Any Alliance pack, then you are restricted in choosing your race and alliance. For example, if you wish to be part of the Ebonheart Pact, then you must choose either a Nord, Dark Elf or Argonian, and it's the same for the other two alliances. However, owning the Any Race Any Alliance pack means you can quite literally do exactly that. Pick any race for any alliance. Let's go into more detail about the races of the Elder Scrolls Online. Starting with the Breton. Bretons are very good with magic, allowing incredibly good magicka sustain by increasing recovery and reducing the cost of magicka abilities. The Redguards are known for their martial prowess. They are great for keeping up their stamina during lengthy fights and a great pick for any stamina user looking to work on sustain. Orcs are a ferocious bunch, and that shows in their combat. Choosing an orc will allow you to have increased damage in combat, giving you that edge on your opponent. However, orcs are also known for their talent at blacksmithing, so naturally they have a boost of XP gain when leveling your blacksmithing crafting tree. The Dunmer, or Dark Elves, live in a hostile land. They have to adapt to change in order to survive. As a Dark Elf, you will have bonuses that increase your damage done, bonuses that help with a little sustain, and also benefits that allow you to use dual-wield weapons a little bit more effectively. The Nords of Skyrim are a hardy lot. They have a natural resistance to frost, an increase to resistances, meaning you can take that little bit more damage, and have an increase to health and stamina. Argonians come from the swampland that is Black Marsh. They are great at assisting others and also giving bonuses to themselves, with an increase to healing done, allowing you to keep others alive, but also with an increase to health, magicka, stamina, and disease and poison resistance. The Argonian makes a great all-round race. The Altmer or High Elves of the Somerset Isle have a very strong link to magicka. This race is one of the best for magicka users, as it offers great damage increase and also magicka sustain. Wood Elves, or Bosmer, come from the Forest of Valenwood. They have some great stamina sustain, but also built to withstand their forest terrain, having an increase in poison and disease resistance, being good at stealth, and taking less fall damage. From elsewhere come the Khajiit, deadly in all things critical, having a massive increase to critical damage and critical healing, and also an increase to health, magicka, and stamina base stats and recovery. These cats are the best for anyone looking to do great critical damage. The last race is the Imperial. Now this class is only available after you purchased the Imperial race. It isn't included within the base game. Reigning from Cyrodiil, these steadfast folk fight for their homeland and won't back down without a fight. They have bonuses that decrease the cost of all skills, making them cheaper to cast, a slight increase to health and stamina, and also a bonus to extra gold gained. When choosing your race, you need to be aware of one very important decision. As ESO is also an MMO, you have the 4 roles you need to choose from that will dictate your choices throughout the game, starting with race. In ESO, you can choose to be one of 4 roles. Number 1 is a tank, being the centre of attention for all enemies and making sure all enemies attack you rather than your teammates or anyone else really. You also need to be able to withstand the constant onflow of attacks, so having high health and resistances are key. Races that suit this style of play are the Nord, the Imperial, the Argonian, and at a stretch, the Khajiit. Next up is the Healer, something I play as quite regularly. The whole point of this role is to keep everyone alive, using healing spells to keep everyone at full health. Races that suit this style of play is the Argonian, Breton, High Elf, Khajiit, and maybe even the Dark Elf. Now if you want to get more technical with both the tank and the healer, then tanks should also be debuffing the enemies in combat, making it easier for the other roles to do their job, whereas healers need to be buffing the other roles, again making it easier on them to do their jobs. Lastly is the damage dealer. This can be done using magicka or stamina. Either way, you're doing the damage to defeat all of the enemies. The tank and the healer watch your back, keeping you alive and also safe. If you're choosing stamina, then choosing one of the following would be a great start: Redguard, Orc, Wood Elf, or Khajiit. If you're thinking of using magicka instead, then consider trying Breton, High Elf, Dark Elf, or Khajiit. So here are a few examples: a Breton healer, a Nord tank, a Redguard stamina damage dealer, and a High Elf magicka damage dealer. This choice is completely up to you. In all honesty, race doesn't really play much of a role in regards to choosing tank, healer or damage dealer. It does help, but not as much as other things. So if you'd prefer to roleplay a bit and choose a race and class that don't work together, it isn't detrimental. Go ahead and do what you want. The last thing to discuss in this video is class choice. Within the Elder Scrolls Online, you can pick between 4 base game classes, with the addition of 2 more when purchases are made. Starting with the Dragon Knight. This class uses skills that relate to being a dragon, whether it's growing dragon wings and deflecting skills, or growing those same wings to throw you across the room at an enemy. If you're wanting to do damage with this class, then your skills will involve a lot of fire and poison. Dragon Knights make fantastic tanks too, with skills that use the earth for protection. However, Dragon Knights don't make the best of healers. If you want a challenge, then try to make one. Next is the Sorcerer. Great at dealing damage with both magic and stamina. This class utilises the option to summon in familiars or pets that fight by your side. Although they don't do massive amounts of damage, they do offer plenty of passive bonuses once summoned in. Sorcerers can also make decent tanks, but again, the idea of being a healer with this class won't work very well. Better than a Dragon Knight, but still not ideal. The Nightblades are masters of stealth and sneak. This class has some very strong, hard-hitting attacks, especially if you decide to utilise critical damage with a Khajiit. This class has abilities that allow you to go invisible, turn yourself into a shadow and teleport across the room, or create a shadow of your own that assists you in combat. The Nightblade is the best assassin. Not ideal for both tanking or healing, but again, can be done with commitment. Next is Templar. What makes this class so good is that it can be an amazing damage dealer, healer, and tank. It utilises bright sun-like magic to burn through and cleanse away darkness. Templar has some of the best self-healing in the game, allowing tanks to keep themselves alive without the assistance of a healer. Speaking of healers, Templars have the best healing in the game. Fact. They are incredibly strong, and with just a couple of skills can keep anyone alive in any situation. If you want a strong healer, then Templar is the one to go for. The first purchasable class is the Warden. The Warden again is very good at all three roles. However, with the Warden it almost feels like a jack of all trades, master of none, whereas the Templar is jack of all trades, master at all trades. For damage, the Warden uses ice magic as well as assistance from the local wildlife, having animals fight by your side. For healing, the Warden will consume you in fungi and mushrooms. But jokes aside, Warden can be made into relatively good healers. And for tanking, again the Warden uses ice for protection, has some great group utility, but nothing crazy strong and powerful to keep themselves alive. The last class, and the other purchasable one, is the Necromancer, one of my personal favourites, so I'll try not to be biased. The Necromancer is similar to Warden, where it can fill all roles adequately, but can't really master any. With a push, it can master being a damage dealer, however only in burst styles of play. So you'll have steady damage for, let's say, 1 minute, then 10 seconds of extreme damage, followed by another minute back to being steady. As tanks, Necromancers do have great survivability, but not the best sustainability. And as healers, Necromancers are quite good. This is my exact role, and from personal experience, Necro healers can be very powerful. The only thing that lets Necro down is the fact that for most skills, they require dead bodies to really reach their full potential. So if you don't have any bodies at your disposal, then your Necromancer won't be reaching its full potential. So that concludes episode 1 of my Elder Scrolls Online guide series. This was all about character creation, race, class, and roles. If you have any questions, be sure to put them in the comments below or get in touch with me via my social media. If this was helpful in any way, then please like and subscribe. I work very hard on these videos, but I enjoy doing them. Showing support would be greatly appreciated. In the next episode, I'll be talking about skills and attributes, so stay tuned.